Hello, this is John, the vintage fisherman. We'll take a reel apart today. I've been waiting on for my collection. Penn 12 International, and she's a little rough. But that's okay. I finally have one. I've been looking for one of these things. They're, for whatever reason, folks, they're hard to come by. So I want to get it apart today and order whatever I can for it that needs before. It's a Sunday morning, so I can get it ordered today. I should have it by the end of the week to put together next weekend. Even if I have to go on to eBay to find some of this stuff, I should be able to get it. So, well, I'll go ahead and take it all the way apart. First thing we'll start out with is the stand. Rod clamp on the reel stand, and of course it's stuck. Like I said, this one's not in beautiful shape. That's okay. I'll have the whole collection. There were 3 reels made in this 12 series back then. This is the original run of Internationals. Well, not the original run, but the original model style of Internationals. I don't know if this is the original run or not. I'm not that good at dating these things, but I imagine this reel's been pretty well used just by looking at it. But we're going to put it in our collection and have it until I find a prettier one. And then I'll rotate the stock out. Maybe I'll sell this one or put it on a rod and use it. Who knows? Take your handle off. I believe the next thing is to take this guide off of the lever drag. Lever drags are the most popular kind of reel to use for king mackerel fishing. And there is a spacer underneath there, don't lose it. Keep the reel over this mat all the time when you're working on these things. There's a 3rd screw right in the middle. It's nice, you can set the reel up to almost a free spool and then set your clicker, and then when the line goes off, as you start into the fight with the fish, you can start easing the drag slowly. You don't do it all at once. And then that thing just kind of slides out. There's a little Delrin thing up in there that slides back and forth on that. They usually don't need to be serviced. They're usually in good shape. Pull those little posts off before you lose them. Well, because I've had this rodeo a time or two, we're going to go around and we're going to see how this goes. We're going to lubricate these screws. You can't get to the back side of them, but every bit of lubrication you put on helps. Go tight a little bit first and then back off. We'll go around and do them all before I take them all off of here. Oh, this one's good. This one's good. This one's so good it's not even funny. Look at that. All of them came out. If we get that lucky on the other side, we are going to be extremely happy. These reels can be very difficult to get back together and have them work right. I've got a 12W. I've got the 12W, 12H, which is the high speed. And then I've got this 12T. That's the whole collection of them. That's all of them they made in the 12 series models. And I've got one that, even though every piece in it's brand new, it's still got just a little bit of a grind to it. And I've had a couple of my friends that are more in tune to these internationals than I am look at them. And we really can't figure out why it's doing that. Very odd situation. I've had this reel for about 2 months now, and I'm just now getting around to working on it. It's dirty. You know, it's got dirt on it. It's been used by all means, but it's not horrible. And this should just lift off. This should just lift off. Missing a screw somewhere. Oh, that one's got to come out. That's cool. I think that one comes. No, that one's not in line with that. Interesting. Interesting. And that's the main gear. I don't know why it's not wanting to come apart. Well, let's take this side off. You got to take what it'll give you, man. You know, you can't. I don't know what to say about that, but if you're not sure about something, take a break from it, move on to the next part you can get apart. Trying not to get excited, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Putting some Cruella down in there. I feel like there's one more screw holding this. And just for giggles, the serial number on this reel is L792071. So if you're an international expert out there and you can look that up for me, that'd be awesome. I might send that number to one of my friends, or that post can come off. You know, the pin 12 goes back towards you. I may see if I can order some new end plates for this thing. I don't think they're still available, but you never know. I've gotten lucky on some weird stuff. I thought there's no way I'll find a new one of those. And lo and behold, there it is. I want to say this used to have like red letters or black letters. That's the one that's holding it together right there. Both sides will come apart now. So what it is, there's a screw on the inside. We'll get to that in just a second. We're going to try. Oh, I got to take the stand off too. I don't know how I missed that. That's not holding it together though. It's got something else holding it together. My guess is this reel is from the 60s or 70s. I really kind of fell in love with the 12 size because, like I said, it's just perfect for king mackerel. Bearing stuck. I can get a puller on it though, so that's a good thing. This end here, this is where I always have problems with these reels. This little stack of washers right here is so flippin' important. I'm going to put them in order. There's two of them going one way and one going the other way. That's part of your drag system right there, folks. Not going to lie. This is your drag clutch. We're going to take those 4 tiny screws off of there. I probably can get a new drag for it. We're going to look and see what it looks like. I think they still make this drag. There's some stuff going on inside of here, so be careful when you get it apart. Those were kind of corroded. I'm surprised they're not breaking off. I do have a spare spool for this reel. I do believe. I found one years ago and just picked it up. That's just a cover plate. Pay attention here. How that goes in there, like that. That was, the Delrin was towards the gear. That's your pinion gear. There is your drag washer. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. We'll probably reuse that. But I may get one anyway. Get your, I think this comes, yeah, I'm pretty sure this comes out. Maybe it doesn't. Yeah, it does. It's separate. It's really stuck. There is another piece of Delrin down in there. I'll get that out of there if I can. Well, that doesn't have any grip to it. Let's try the forceps. Yes, that comes out. So that goes on each side of that spring. The shaft does not come out. Need something with some little bit of edge to it to get up under there. Yeah, I won't do it. What I'm trying to do, I'm thinking out loud, I'm trying to get this. Yeah, it may not come loose. If it doesn't, it's okay. It's giving us what it's going to give us. That bearing needs to be replaced. It's coming. What I can do, I'll put my finger on it, push it down in there. It's coming. It's not far from popping out. Now, I tell you what, that Kroll is some fantastic stuff. It just works so well. There is the bearing. We will see if we can't get a new one of those. I think I'm done with the spool. I don't have to get that ring out of there. It doesn't look like it needs to be replaced. I can clean all that, so I'm just going to leave that together. Good there. Okay. I'm going to attempt to get that screw out right there. We'll put the handle back on it. Gonna hold on to that handle really tightly. Okay. Give what it takes you. Take what it gives you. Give what it takes you. Okay, John. Wake up. I've had my coffee this morning. Take what it gives you. If it'll loosen a little bit, just take a little bit. And then put some of that good old curl down in there like I just did. And watch it go to work. Just like it did. You have to take this gear off before you can take the rest of the stuff out of the reel. Take that back off. Now we can take those 3 screws out. Oh, almost butterflied that one. That wasn't good. I didn't have the screwdriver down in the slot all the way. That comes off. I don't think there's anything in there. It's just like a guide. Then we're going to take something and punch that out. No, it's not a brass punch. That would be great if it was a brass punch, but it's not. But we can use this. No, we can't. Let's put the screw back in it. Okay. And we're going to drive this shaft down and leave the gear where it's at. I think I got it. Yeah, it did. So put that back there. There's your gear. There's your anti-reverse. Cog. All this comes out this way. So we'll just... I find these washers in bad shape on these reels a lot of times. That one's good. We got a bearing to try to get out of there. These 2 screws here for the anti-reverse dog got to come out. So what I'll do is this week I'll get some parts on order and I will spend some time cleaning all this mess up. There's 2 little spacers in there. Don't lose them. They're fun to get back in there. Your spring is underneath that post. You don't need to take that out. I don't even need to take this off of here, but now that I see how it is, I might, just for the fun of it. It's going to have a pair of pliers put on it. Put some leather over it. And there you go. It's spinning off. It's on a stud. And I want to get it off there so I can, well, it's got its own screw in it, actually. I want to get it off there so I can clean it. Now, Now. Trying to think how this whole thing comes apart. Well, I've gotten them off before, but I don't remember how it was. That's pushing the bearing out. That's helpful. So let's get the bearing out of it. One way you can get the bearing out is to actually use the spool, although that side's a little bit different size. I may end up leaving this alone, just because I think you got to take this piece here off once I get the bearing out of it. Oh, there's the bearing. Just thinking, the snap ring's got to come off. We'll see what I can get with it. So get that snap ring pretty much off of there. That's not going to be fun to get back on. Look at the sludge down in there. That's not good. It ain't supposed to look like that. Okay. Not giving us much at all here. That snap ring is not going to be fun to get back in there. If I could get under it, I could get it out. I don't know how I'm going to get it back in there. I'll be honest with you. That might not be worth messing with. It looks like you put never sees or something in here. Yeah, I'm just going to put that snap ring back in its place. I ain't too sure about that. Not at all. This doesn't look like it's going to come out. So it goes back. Yeah, I'd really love to get all that out, but wait a minute. The snap ring will come out now. I see how it is. You push down on that and the snap ring should come right out there. There it is. Okay. All right, that's cool. Look at all that never sees on it. Well, that was easy enough. So there's the whole cover plate. This comes off. And then there's this bearing right here. So I'm glad I got this apart because I wouldn't want that bearing to get soaked in oil. That comes off. Goes in like that. Oh, I see how it is. It's got locks on it. Okay. Nice. It's been a while. I know I've done one of these before, but you know. There's that. So this piece can be cleaned up. Don't need to mess with that. That's good. So this is the whole reel. We're done with it. I want to see if I can get 2 bearings, the drag washer. I'd love to get that plate off there, but she's stuck. While I'm waiting to find parts, how about we do this? Soak it good. And I'll see if I can get that drag washer. We'll let it soak. All right. There it is. 12 International. An oldie, but a goodie. Very low speed. Would be my first choice nowadays for a reel for king mackerel, but I like something at least 4.5 to 1. But not bad. It does the job. It's caught many fish. These reels caught a lot of fish over the years, so yeah, can't argue with that point. So if you did have to take that out, you can take this. Well, let's do it. Why not? Just take the screw out. And that way the whole reel will be disassembled. And there it is. There's the whole guts out of it. It's just a little Delrin. There's a spring on a spring, kind of a setup there. A lot of little parts in this reel. It doesn't look super complicated when you get started, but it turns out that it really is. That's it. I'm going to leave it right there. I'll come back to it when I get parts. I'll be back. Good morning or afternoon or whatever it is where you're at. This is John the Venge Fisherman. And this is take 2. So the schematics I got off of Mystic are not right. It tells you right here, schematic built using a 12T drawing as base. Well, 12 and 12T are really nothing alike. So this schematic is useless for the 12. So we'll just throw that aside. I started putting this together and immediately got it all wrong. So I stopped and watched the video. So let's make another attempt. I will put the spool together first because that gets rid of a lot of parts. You have a Delrin washer. It's got a step on it, and you got a spring and you Delrin washer. They go into the spool first. Your drag washer, and then your pinion clutch assembly. And I've already done some pre-lube here because, like I said, I'm a dummy and I'm on take 2 of this whole thing. I did go back and watch the video. I hope I've got all this right. We will see. It's a real pain. Some people say, well, why do you do this for a hobby? It's aggravating. Yeah, it is, but it's what keeps my mind sharp. I'm 60 years old, man. I ain't got so much time left on this earth, and my old brain's starting to get tired, so I got to do something to keep it sharp. The work I do at work is physical. It's not a lot of mental. Every once in a while, I work on buses. Now, will require you to use your brain, but most of the time it's just take it apart, put it back together. So these little things keep your old brain sharp. When I say I work on buses, I work on motor coaches. I don't work on school buses or city buses. I work on over-the-road motor coaches. All right, so that's pretty much that. These go on these two go together, and this one goes opposite. They were on like this. And that's very, very important. That creates a spring. Creates a spring. You don't want to put them, all 3 of them posed. 2 of them goes the same way, 1 goes backwards. Over here, all right, I've already put the bearing in that side. That's a no-brainer. It just slips in there. Okay. Over here, we have the anti-reverse dog. And it goes in like this. And then there's two little spacers that go in there. Like that. And then you've got this support plate that doesn't go in like that. It goes in like that. And then those two screws go in. Like I said, I just went back and watched the video, so it's all a little fresher in my mind than it was the first time I attempted this morning. That wasn't pretty, folks. I'm just going to tell you. It did not go as planned. So before I put this in, I want to finish this up. So this, oh goodness, John. I mean, can we stir things up a little more? There's a spring that goes in here. And then this little, I'm going to put some grease on that too. Oh yeah, that was good. Then this little Delrin goes on there. This is your, I guess, a guide, for lack of any other better terms, to where it slides over the quadrant, or whatever you want to call it. So it goes together like this. Man, I'm really being technical, aren't I? You got a screw, spring, the Delrin, or the spring underneath the Delrin. You just screw it all the way down. There's no adjustment. It just goes tight. It's like that. And then we're gonna, I think this is correct now. Don't take this as gospel. I think we can assemble this part off of the reel. This will go together like this with spring underneath that. Tighten that all the way down like that. And this bearing goes on like that. We're going to give it some of this thicker lube here. Don't want really grease on it, just want some thicker lube. And this goes against the bearing, so it's kind of like a cup. And it goes against two bearings. It goes against that bearing, and it goes against this bearing. So it's got to go in there like that. And then they don't really leave you enough room to put this snap ring in there. I don't know. We'll go try this and see. I got it out. I should be able to get it back in. There we go. So that's that whole unit right there. And then this, I gotta probably loosen this up now. So you can back this back off. It'll go back to like your free spool type position. And this is supposed to teeth its way in. I don't know which way it went. Okay. That's your preset. Okay, so we'll back the preset all the way off. This bearing here goes in right there, just like that. And give it another drop of oil. Now, this goes in right there. And then your handle shaft goes in right there. I'm thinking out loud, folks. Sorry about that. I'm going to put this handle shaft support in. Not really any bearings on that. Just kind of goes in there like that. Just a bushing type support, I guess. I do need to lubricate that a little bit better. There's 3 screws that hold that in place. Hey, we're starting to get rid of some parts here. I came there this morning, I was like, where the hell does all this stuff go? Note to self, when you when you do an international, take it apart and put it back together on the same day. When you're older, I guess I should say. My girlfriend says, you're not old. Well, I am. But anyway, it's easier to do if you actually remember it. You know, we can slide that. We can actually still slide this out and lubricate it. There we go. And then your anti-reverse cog goes in just like that. See how they make contact with each other? And then the gear goes in just like this. And I really need to lubricate this. So one thing I need to do before I put the gear on is go ahead and put the handle on. There is a shim that goes right there. That's important. Just remember where that went. It will not operate right without that shim. And we're going to put our handle nut on it. Now, in these pin reels, you don't have to over tighten that handle nut. And most important, you want to get it where it'll line up and hold this screw into place. Just like that. Now we can hold all this together and see how it clickety click. There you go. Whoops, kind of all fell apart. That's all right. We will fix that. Okay. Now, let's get some grease on the gear. There's no drag washer that goes in here, so you can get grease all over this thing and it ain't gonna hurt it. It doesn't. Grease doesn't hurt drag washers anyway. You think, well, you want to get grease on drag washer? Well, there's a universal reel and drag grease by Cal's. It's grease. You can use it to lubricate your reels, whatever you want to do with it. And we'll put that in there, and it keys up with that shaft. So you got to kind of rotate that around. And then I'm going to put just a dab of grease in there on that screw. Sometimes they're Loctited. We ain't going that far. I can guarantee you I'm not going to use it hard enough to need to Loctite that, but that's up to you. If you want to put a little dab of blue on there, you can put blue on there, and if you want to go take it apart, you can always take your micro torch and heat it up, and then the blue will let go. That's how you do that. You don't need it. You'd have to be cranking on this thing 100 million times a day to work it loose. Down here, there's one single post that has a screw in it. This guy right here. Put that in. And we're going to tighten it up, just like we took it loose. Take my trusty old worn out SK Waynes here. Alright, that's tight. A lot of old tools find their way to this workbench. I just did a video on that. The tools I use. Things I've had at work, don't need at work anymore, I use here. Alright. Now, let's get all this back together. I do believe the stand goes in those three right there. So let's get the stand on it. The stand is going to get the three shorter. Oops, it's wrong side of the reel. The stand gets the three shorter screws of the 7. Something I've learned on these Internationals is put grease where the screws go in, because this metal, the screws are made out of, will interact with that aluminum and they will stick. They will stick hard. And that is not the threads that get stuck into on the reels. It's the screws themselves get stuck in the screw pockets, and getting them apart is a real chore. Curl will work, but you gotta let it. I have soaked an International before for 6 months to get it apart. My International 30 that I still have and use, I soaked it for 6 months, folks, to get all the screws out of it. And even then, I think I had to drill out one. So, still somehow or another managed to make it a pretty decent looking reel. And the short screws go in the stand for the same reason on any other pin reel. If it's too long, it will catch the line as it free spools out. And you don't want that to happen. And then you've got your rear facing. And there again, I'm putting some grease down in those screw pockets. You got your rear facing thumb bar, I guess you could call it. Go ahead and put that on and tighten it down. It can flip-flop either way. It's symmetrical. And you see how much grease I'm packing in this thing. Once bitten, twice shy, folks. You will not like life if you got to fight one of these Internationals for a few days. It's just the nature of the beast. It's a brass screw that's plated, first of all. That's not a good situation. And then you got aluminum, so you got just like metals. The pin 12 goes back where you can read it as the operator of the reel. And there again, we're going to put grease in those screw pockets. I'm being real generous with the grease too. Real generous. Tighten all that down. Now, that's half the frame built in one end cap. Right. And once again, clean up your excess, make it look good. We can, while we're at this point, stand the reel up like this and put our quadrant in, I guess you could call it. It goes in. It's got to slide into that. You just kind of slide it in there. We're going to do something here first, though. That screw hole, that screw hole right there. Put some grease in it, and in these screws, put some grease down in them. A lot of it. Let it push out. It ain't gonna hurt nothing. It is not gonna hurt a thing. You'll like life a lot better. Then you got these two little standoffs, like that. One goes on each side. The nose is running this morning. All right. Then these long screws. Trust me, I'm going to get a little more grease on them. I'm not done greasing things yet. They go in. We'll tighten the two outer ones almost tight. You'll get them down snug. Like that. Like that. Now we can get this middle one. It's a countersunk screw. If you have one left over and you don't, where does the screw go? It can get missed. It goes in the center hole right here. And then snug them. All right. And then you can wipe off that excess. There's plenty of it. It's a little bit hard. You might take a Q-tip to get in there on some of it to get all that excess off. Just take a Q-tip and run around those screw holes and stuff. And be hard to get a rag in there on some of it. Trust me, grease don't hurt a thing, man. It's, it might collect a little bit of dirt and look ugly over time, but it will make the reel work a lot better. And there we are on the drive side. Well, that's smooth so far. We don't have this preset, so we're good there. Let's put the spool in it. Actually, before I put the spool in, let's put these two screws on here. Just put a little bit of grease right down here at the bottom. And run your hex nut up. This is for your clamp. This has got the old style clamp with the ring in it. I like that. It's good for, I clamp my rods with a leash, a dog leash to the pier. In case for some reason a fish does hit it, and it was to lock up. I've got one last little step of security. Don't lose my reel to the ocean. And I have lost reels in the ocean. Mostly when I was younger and not paying attention. Your dad said, don't leave your reel unattended while you've got bait on it. And then I'd leave my reel unattended when I have bait on it. And then it'd be gone. So, like to have a couple of those reels back. I got that. We can go ahead and put this on there. I'm trying to come up with a way to display the 12 series reels. I think I'm going to put them on like a dowel rod and mount them to something where I can display them all together, this whole series. Now, these will not clear the gear. I've learned this before. So, goodness. I think what I've had to do is like pack them with grease. I'm just going to go ahead and get my hands greasy. And put them in to the reel. And they go in there like that. And let's hold on to what we got here. I need to grease the gear. I don't remember them coming out being stuck to that, to the backside of that gear, but that's how it has to go. And then okay, well, that didn't go so well, did it? This will go in. There. Like that. Now, go around, put grease in all those screw holes. Pack them pretty good. And then before you put the palm plate on it, pack those. It all wipes out. Don't worry about it. Might look a little ugly in a few years, but it'll be okay. This goes in like this. Your 3 short screws go into the stand. I'll be glad to get this one done. I've been putting it off for a long time. I get a little aggravated with these internationals, honestly. And I don't know why, they just seem to be my nemesis. They're kind of like the bait runners that started this channel. I always hated taking a bait runner apart. I would struggle to get them back together, and finally I started video, and that's what started this channel, was video and my reel repairs for myself, so I wouldn't make mistakes getting them back together. And the internationals are the same way. It's funny, sometimes they'll work perfect when you take them apart, and when you get them back together, it's like, oh, this is junk. What happened, you know? And it's like you have one little thing could be flipped upside down, or one thing could be in the wrong spot, you know, because it looked like it went there, but it really didn't go there. Man, that one doesn't want to start for whatever reason. I have to loosen the other side up. There it goes. Okay, so I said in the first part of the video, I noticed this when I went back to look at it this morning. I was going to order this part and that part, whatever, bearings. After checking and cleaning the bearings, they were fine. Didn't need to replace them. The only parts I could find that were really available were things I didn't need for the reel. Oh goodness, that one's way off. Yeah, I see what's wrong. It's almost like the reel's got a twist to it or something. So what I'm going to do when I get it all together is go through and loosen them all up, and then tighten them back down, because it's got a twist in it somewhere that I missed when I was putting it together. Oh, that one's not lining up either. So the frame is racked a little bit, and that happens when you've got these multiple piece frames. They rack. When you put them together, one of the screws is a little bit out of line, whatever. So we're going to go through and fix that little situation right now. There it goes. That put the frame back in alignment. And if you get one of these together and it acts funny, sometimes that's all it takes. Just loosen each side and then tighten them back down slowly until you get running smooth. It's just the nature of the beast. That's true for all the Penn 3-piece frames or 4 or 5-piece frame, whatever they are. The ones with posts. The solid frame pins, just like any other solid frame reel, it should already be good to go once you put it together. All right. Oh my goodness, my sinuses decided to run today, and that's just great. All right. Right now I have no drag. Just a little bit of drag there. Acting a little funny, but let's do some preset. No drag. Okay. There we go. Now we're getting some drag. It's smooth. That's some pretty serious drag. Good, eh? Can't even hold that back. There's your free spool. We would set them for king fishing. I would set it right where I can just, right about there where I can almost hold the spool. And then when a fish hits, we just slip it forward, and you don't need a whole lot of drag for a kingfish. You're probably good with 10, 12 pounds of drag. Get me a fresh rag and wipe this down. You don't need a lot of drag with a king. She's gonna run anyway. If you don't let it run, you're gonna lose it. So I'm sorry, I'm off frame. I'm just wiping it all down, just getting all the excess oil and stuff off of it. Yeah, so I'm gonna buy me a piece of dowel rod and make me a stand to mount all 3 of my Penn 12s on. This is the ugliest one. I started talking about this. Parts wise, I found an end cover that was $75. Well, it was beautiful. It was like brand new, and I probably should buy it. I don't have the money right now. And then I found this plate for $20, and I probably should get that. I did not find this plate. And the spool I thought I had for it was for a 12H. It's not for a 12. Just plain 12. It's the same width, but the drag's on the opposite side. For 12H. So let's put some oil in it. Pin oil. Push that down and put a little bit of, oops, it's stuck. It's stuck in a down position. There it goes. It comes back up, kind of. So that's got something in it holding it back. There it goes. Oh, perfect. All right. Make sure those little balls pop back up. That seals the salt water out of your reel. If they don't pop back up, something wrong. I'm real happy with that. That reel turned out nice. And it was aggravating. I did have to go back and watch the video again because my memory it eluded me on how this reel went together. So it is what it is. It's working. All is good. This is John Fisherman. Thanks for watching. Sorry for the long video, but I wanted to get that one right. So that's your free spool. That's, you have no preload. Your drags all the way back. Preset. I know I've sidetracked already. Getting ready to sign off and sidetrack. You want your preset where when you go up here in the fight, you want your preset to match your line. So if I'm running on this reel, I'd probably run 20-pound line. I'd probably want about 6 pounds of preload up in here. You need to check that with a scale. When you go to full fight, you may want to get 6 pound like right in there, not quite full lock. When you go to full lock, have enough to break your line. If you get something on there you don't want, like a shark. But you need to do that with a scale at the end of your rod. And just set it that way. That's how I set mine. Once I set my presets every year before I go down to the coast, I don't mess with them. There's no point in it. You can do it all right here if you leave it. When you want just a little bit of resistance so your line doesn't, see, that's not enough resistance. And you want just enough resistance where if a fish hits, it doesn't free spool and rat's nest. Of course, you'll have your bait clicker on, which, there it goes. You have your bait clicker set, and you usually about that much drag, and it should, if a fish hits, it'll pull out, but it'll click. And you know you got a fish on it. And you can throw it back to full. Like if you're running your bait down the line, you'll pull this lever all the way back. You'll thumb it till your bait gets out to where you want it to be, and then you'll pull it back up, set your clicker, and you're ready. You're fishing. So, all right, there it is, John. This is John, the Vintage Fisherman. I appreciate you watching. A little tutorial on how to set a preset drag system. And anyway, I'll catch you on the next video. Take kid pier fishing. I taught my son how to kingfish. Actually, two of the three know how to kingfish, roughly. The oldest one knows how to do it pretty well. He just doesn't like to go without me for some reason, but he's good at it. I taught him when he was 12 years old. So it's a style of fishing. It's a lot of fun. It's very gadgety. You got to have a lot of gadgets. Costs a little bit of money, more expensive than average fishing, but he enjoys it. We've got all the gear. We've got more gear than we'll ever need, actually. So anyway, take kid fishing. Please like, subscribe. Y'all take care.